Readers, welcome to Unit 4, Literary Nonfiction. In this first bend of the unit, you'll work on the biggest challenge of longer, more complex nonfiction, which is pulling out central ideas, themes, and issues. It would be easy to just read these books as stories and let the plot wash over you, but you want to come away from these books full of ideas. To read these texts well, you have to read for central ideas, the big things the text teaches, as well as themes and issues from the very start. What's tricky about this work is that these texts aren't like a textbook. Authentic nonfiction won't have big subheadings or sidebars or summaries that tell you the big ideas. Instead, the author will use a lot of different craft and structure techniques to lead you to new ideas. Let me show you what I mean with our new read aloud, Hidden Figures, the untold true story of four African American women who helped launch our nation into space. I'm going to have you watch a clip from a movie based on the book, a scene where one of the women, Dorothy, visits a public library with her kids. Will you watch, and after, we'll talk not about what happened, but how the text hints at central ideas, themes, and issues right away. Now you'll pause this video and then back in the lesson platform, watch the scene from Hidden Figures. Readers, take a minute to jot your thinking. What were some of the big things that this text might teach? Think about the central ideas, themes, or issues this text raises. Readers, you probably noticed that this small section of text introduced a ton of big thinking. You may have said that the central idea in this section introduces could be that discrimination was very persuasive across all parts of society, across parts like buses and parts you didn't realize, like the library. You may have thought that Dorothy also seemed to name a theme she wanted us to learn. Just because it's the way doesn't make it right. Did you notice a few snippets like racism, white privilege, issues with policy? This clip named some ideas explicitly, whereas it just hinted at other ideas. You've read for central ideas, themes, and issues before, but you often would do this work when prompted, and usually just in certain genres. You read your nonfiction articles thinking about central ideas, and your fiction books thinking about themes or social issues. In literary nonfiction books, though, you have to read for all of these things at once, and you have to be alert for them starting on page 1. Readers, let me clarify. Themes are usually advice the author gives about how you might live your life differently or about how life works. Central ideas often sum up the major information that authors are teaching. And social issues are things that affect the day to day lives of big groups of people: sexism, classism, poverty, white privilege, and more. Ready to try this? I'll read a bit of Hidden Figures by Margot Lee Shetterly, and I want you to listen for places where the text hints at something bigger, whether it's a central idea, theme, or issue. If you notice a part like that, you might want to pause the video and take some notes. and think more about that part. Chapter 3: Mobilization. There was no escaping the heat during the summer of 1943, especially for the African American women working in Camp Pickett's laundry boiler plant. Camp Pickett was an Army training center in central Virginia that processed 18,000 bundles of laundry each week. Inside the facility, the heat and humidity were so intense that the workers stepped outdoors into the 100-plus-degree summer heat to get relief. The job at the plant was hard work. Some of the women loaded the soldiers' dirty laundry into the boilers. Others heaved the sopping clothes into the dryers. Another team worked the pressing machines, like cooks at a giant griddle. The laundry workers existed at the bottom of the war's great pyramid of employees. They earned 40 cents an hour, among the lowest wages of all war workers. But for women with few employment options, even that modest sum felt like a windfall. Dorothy Vaughan considered applying for a job at the laundry. The 32-year-old taught math at the Black High School in Farmville, Virginia, about 30 miles from Camp Pickett. Her family was better off financially than many others. Her husband's parents owned a barber shop, a pool hall, and a service station in town. But Dorothy wanted to find a job to earn extra money. While teaching offered status, it didn't pay well. Virginia's white public school teachers earned some of the lowest salaries in the United States, and black teachers in Virginia earned 50% less than that. Dorothy could earn twice her teacher's salary by working at the laundry. Some women with Dorothy's education might have seen taking the laundry job as an unthinkable choice. Wasn't the purpose of a college degree to get away from dirty and difficult work? In addition, the camp was far enough away from Farmville that Dorothy would have to live in employee housing during the week and only go home on weekends. But Dorothy didn't care. She would do whatever was necessary to save enough money so that her 4 children might be able to get the best education possible. She knew that schooling was the best way to prepare her children to live in a world that would require more of them than white children, and attempt to give them less in return. This seems like a good place to stop. Here's why. It feels like the author jumps right into an anecdote, a personal story from someone's life. Shetterly must have included this for a reason, right? I want you to think about why the author might have included this. What central ideas is she hinting at? What themes? I know it seems early to name a central idea or theme, but it does pay to consider what the author might be teaching early on. It seems as if one possible theme is that hard work is not rewarded equally. Think about Dorothy's salary as a black teacher in Virginia as half as much the salary of white teachers earned. That theme isn't stated outright in the text, but the author does hint at it through the details. I'll jot that idea down, and you may want to as well. And let's see if it holds true as we read on, or if the text starts to teach about something new. I'm going to start a notebook page that says Possible Themes, Issues, and Ideas in Hidden Figures. I'll continue reading in the next video, but first take a few minutes to jot your thinking.